So today was my official first day of grad school, which is Sunday, the 25th of August, 2019. So the day was roughly divided into two parts. The first was like an orientation activity with the other fellow PhD 2019 Cornell grads. The other half of the day was then just me rushing around trying to fix my current place up. The first part of the day was pretty good. We kind of got to meet everyone. We all sort of met at the Mallard Hall, which is the Cornell Math Department building, and then we caught a bus to this area, slightly north of campus, I think, where they had an adventure course. We then did an exercise where we had to figure out how we could all basically essentially pass a tennis ball to one another in the fastest way possible. Pass in this sense is a bit dubious. It simply means touch in order. We ended up getting this down to 40 to 4 seconds, I should say, after initially we did it in 30 seconds. Apparently the record was 700 milliseconds, something like this. I don't know how this is possible, but anyway, it was a fun couple of strategies. After this, we then did this exercise where you essentially had to sort of cross this river without touching the water. The river in this case was just a bunch of sort of marked dirt on the ground. It was pretty much swinging from one side to this platform in the middle, then swinging from this platform in the middle to the other side. What was fun about that is that whenever anyone touched the ground, a bunch of people had to be blindfolded. And so the way we set it up, two people in this middle platform, helping everyone on the other sides come across and swap to the other side. And then, yeah, there was some person with minimal upper body strength, swung across and sort of touched the ground, and then kind of sort of dragged the person trying to catch them into the ground too. So then both of them were blindfolded. So then suddenly someone from sort of Iron had to land on this essentially 3 foot by 3 foot square without knocking the other two off, and sort of help them. It was quite funny. Then we kind of had a break, had some Dunkin' Donuts. There was no fruit, which was quite sad. Then after this, we went to the vertical section of the course, which was more fun. There was this exercise called lily pads or something, where we scaled this essentially a power line, but without the power, and then had to sort of jump from these suspended wooden discs in the air with a bunch of people on the ground, 3 for each of these discs, holding it in place. But yeah, for me, and for many people, the worst part about it was sort of going from the top of this power line onto the first disc, because it was about a 4 foot distance between the platform and the disc, but it also went down. And the rope that suspended was quite thin. And so you kind of had to sort of just lean out into the air, jump, and then grab onto this rope with sort of both hands, and then try and suspend yourself. I mean, if you fell down the rope, there was this disc to kind of catch you, but it was still it required somewhat of a leap of faith, but it was okay. My upper body strength was sufficient so that I was able to sort of catch it and then suspend myself on it. And the rest of it was pretty much walking around these and making sure that my belay rope didn't get twisted around the rope suspending these plastic discs. But yeah, overall it was fun. Yeah, there was this Venezuelan guy, which was quite funny. We had these in-jokes at the end, and the guy was like, "What did you learn today?" And this guy was like, Yeah, I learned like what a leg end was, and then I was like, oh, I learned that if people eat red lights, then it's okay. Yeah, it was a funny moment. Um, yeah, and then after this began like the second and sort of disaster part of the day, which was organizing stuff. So what to do? Yeah, we had lunch with some of the other grads. Um, I was disappointed. We went to this like Mexican restaurant. It was only me and one of the like British PhDs that kind of got the vegetarian options. I mean, I got the vegan option. Everyone else was like sort of eating like beef or sausage or like chicken. I was just like, people think about your carbon footprints. Um, After this, we kind of went our own ways. I then went to Target, shopped around and got some towels, as well as some more socks, underwear, a doormat, some other stuff. The drying rack for the dishes, that's right. Came back, then had to do the laundry, went down to the laundromat, spent an hour there. It was not too bad actually. I binge listened to this podcast that started off really well and then kind of transitioned into this science fiction I didn't quite believe at the end and hence kind of lost interest. But the initial setup was fantastic. Basically, you have this sort of truck driver who's like African American and also like a woman. And so immediately you're kind of like subverting this stereotypical image of and who's like yeah, so the stereotypical image of this sort of white guy. Yeah, and then she essentially sort of drops something off a minute late. This leads to like a cascade of I should say a number of things results as this. And then she ends up finding herself taking this job where she's transporting this sort of cargo which she doesn't know too much about. And then like this like amazing relationship starts in I think like the second or I think the third episode. And but alas, the relationship is not developed because the plot the plot divulges into the science fiction. Anyway, and then yeah, sort of the Uber like I caught a bus to Target, but on the way back I got an Uber ride. The guy's pretty cool. He had like there's like Eric B. a song playing in the background. It sounded like to me like it was off Paid in Full. It was actually off like a soundtrack to a movie, but I was just like, oh, that's a really great album. And then I had a chat about that, and he was like, some people these days only listen to music in like 2015 onwards or whatnot, and I'm just like, yeah, it's quite sad. Yeah, it was super friendly, and then, but then after that, yeah, I had to. Then after that was the mattress woes. Upstairs is just like, so yeah, after this sort of Kelly from the mat department came around with like a spare bed support. I put this upstairs and then kind of like flipped the mattress onto it. I was extremely dumb though in that the bottom of my mattress is this kind of sheet which has some fiberglass strands in it. I wish there was some other option, but not without forking out like an extra $1,000. But anyway, this black metal mattress bottom part has some kind of like rough metallic edges. So as I was putting the bed on it, there was some kind of like resistance, and I think as a result, like there were some scratches in like this padding with some of these like fiberglass segments. So I was annoyed that I was kind of like I inadvertently released some of these, but sort of the upstairs it's like a disaster. Like it has recent carpet put in, but I suspect that the carpet wasn't aired out beforehand, and it certainly wasn't sort of vacuum cleaned in the days after it was put in. And so whenever I go up there, my nose and my chest, it all kind of gets, you've obviously heard this cough. So I ended up just moving the supports as well as the mattress back down the stairs. And like the mattress is a queen sized and the stairs itself is quite tight. So I had a few fun couple of minutes trying to sort of squeeze this mattress through this tiny door. But I got it down in the end. And then I cooked dinner, or should I say wanted to, but then I had to clean all of the like secondhand plates I had bought, take the price tags off them, take the knives and forks from the dump and buy sale I attended on the Friday, which is a really good deal. You got like a knife, a fork, and a spoon for $1 each. I mean, for $1 as a packet, as opposed to $1 each from say like Target. Yeah, then I sort of cleaned all of these. It was then I think 10:45, and then finally sort of got dinner going. And then like I started cooking. Started cooking some of this like like natural salmon I had got, but like I think like I'm completely dying not having the electric frying pan. And so I was basically sort of cooking it on this like iron plate on a gas stove, nothing to cover it up. The top of the salmon hasn't really cooked. Suddenly I realized that like the air smells like it's sort of smoky. This is of course because like the skin on the bottom has actually started burning. 20 seconds later, like the fire alarm goes off. It was a disaster. Now windows are open everywhere. And then I think around this time when I was sort of opened all the windows and I was cleaning mum cord, and so now it's like 1:20. I should start charging my families for Ubers. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I have 30-minute conversations with them. This means that I have to choose between getting decent sleep or like 6 hours. With decent sleep, I can't get to university by catching the bus quickly. I can only resort to Uber, which then costs like $10. Anyway. Anyway, yeah, this was first part of the day. Yeah, fantastic. Sorting out this house. It's a complete disaster so far. Like, it's literally falling apart. When I tried to open one of the doors, or should I say windows, to let in some more air, the kind of plane itself doesn't actually have any hinges, and so because of this, the panel kind of just started falling. Anyway, enough of me. No, this was the first day of my grad program. Bye.